If I'm going to continue to be exploring these Mistcraft worlds, I want to be able to do so at a much faster rate than I currently am. So I collected all the vials of Essentia that I already had, and so I can toss them in like so, with the 8 leather and then the Solum, which fell on the ground for some reason, the Motus, the Volato, and the Agua, and then I can make myself a new pair of the Boots of the Traveler. So let's cross our fingers, and yes, indeed, we did. So we now have Protection 4, Haste 3, Repair 2. Now the last thing I want to do, since we already have Prot 4, Haste 3, and Repair 2, which makes these the best that they can be, I want to put the Feather Falling 4 book I have on there. So we're going to see how much this would cost to put on here. Only 16. I can already do it. Bingo. There we go. So we have Feather Falling 4, Haste 3, and Repair 2, as well as Prot 4. So now we can move really quickly. The other thing, though, is that walking is all well and good, but when I have to cross water or other gaps, I don't want to be doing it on foot, and the portal gun, unfortunately, requires walls to cast off of. Oh, it requires blue wool specifically for some odd reason. Doesn't really make sense, but I'm happy to oblige. Lapis, there we are, blue wool. And now we have the Cloak of Distortion. The way that this Cloak of Distortion charges is with Ender Pearls. So we'll go like this. And what you can do, if you stand here and you shift and right click, you can teleport. Now, I don't know how, can it draw it out of my inventory? Nice. Okay, so that allows me to warp across large distances. Now, I'm not sure if there's a limit. Ow, dang, my legs. I'm not sure if there's a limit actually, but let's just test. So if I go like, ooh, wow, you can go really far. How about up to the roof? Ah! Oh my gosh, go. I'm going to need more Ender Pearls. I'm going to need a source of those pretty quick. But this is a fantastic item that allows me to do that. Also, when you right-click, it turns you invisible, which is pretty fantastic. So, if I removed all my armor, I could sort of sneak around and be a ninja, which is pretty fantastic. So, we now have these tools to get around more quickly, which will help me navigate these new worlds that I construct and go into, and hopefully will help me get the pages that I require. Now, one of the worlds that I saw in there is the end, so I wonder if I could create a new place to do, well, I could create an end portal, basically. Like, I wonder if I could create a Mistcraft world which functionally is equivalent to the end without the dragon or being on an annoying island, and instead would just be a nice, easy place to kill Endermen from. Either way, that begins that. The last thing I want to do quickly is to take all these knowledge fragments and begin to try and get the last of the research that I was interested in. Yes, hello, come in, take a seat, and join me for another episode of Feed the Beast Ultimate for Minecraft version 1.4.7. Let me shut off my fire here. I was just relaxing because you see, after invading the worlds that I have, I've gained access to so many records that I can enjoy. And of course, I got the best one. I mean, this is the record that I want. This just like, it's very smooth jazz. Ah, peaceful. Anyhow, best of the records, hands down. Stall, that's where it's at. Either way, I've been able to invade countless worlds using Mistcraft, and because of that, I now have access to the visor that I needed in order to make my XP generator work properly. Naturally, like any other time I've done something like this, oh god, being invaded by demons once again. But naturally, like every other time I've done this, I have prepared resources in advance, and so first of all, we're just going to take these out, because they are the most... Oh, I got scared. I heard the fire of the forge and thought that it was something else happening. But what we'll do is we'll place ward jars, water buckets, and zombie brains in here, along with spider eyes. And then if I place the wand of the thaumaturge, you can see that these will make the brain in a jar. Now, I'm going to only make these one at a time, so we'll toss in a knowledge fragment and 2 wither skeleton skulls, like so, and then we can pull out our first. Normally, so there's an element that is only found in zombie brains and skulls. It's that sort of pentagram-esque star shape. And normally, I imagine that you're not expected to use that very commonly in recipes, but because of the Wither Skeleton farm, it's made possible. So now we have the 8 Cognito in there, and as you can see, this requires 8 Cognito. So what I can do is just reclaim my wand here for a moment, and place that back in the cauldron, along with the next set of Wither Skeleton skulls. Ooh. And then when I place this wand in here, I can reclaim the next brain in a jar, and you will see that we now have these. So I need to reclaim some glass vials here to remove that, and then I can toss in the knowledge fragment once again with 2 wither skulls and get the third and final. So the way these brain in the jars work, I've made 3 of these, by the way, because the infernal furnace also produces XP. But what they do is they collect experience from around them, and then when you right click on them, you'll be able to reclaim experience from it. Now, I can't demonstrate this without putting something in the furnace, which I am not inclined to do, so you'll just wait to see it later. But these things are kind of creepy, actually. I've got quite the spooky setup here with all these animated creatures that just sort of do things for me. Either way, now I'm going to begin working on creating the actual golems that I need. A wood golem, and I'm going to make 2 iron golems to ensure that they get killed fast enough, because, as I'm sure you've seen before, my Wither Skeleton farm gets very busy. Now, unlike before, I'm not going to talk over what I'm doing just because you've seen this all before. We're going to set this all up, and then I'll come back later when we have something actually new to do. It's amazing to me that this entire chest of materials can be turned into all of this, and I've did it without expelling too much flux into the atmosphere, but I mean, you know, some's going to leak out regardless of what I do. So now we have all of the ingredients, or most of them, for the farm. However, the last thing I want to show off is what these golems look like, because that's the best part, honestly, is that they look so adorable and it's funny. So let's place this guy like so, and you'll see he runs around, and then if I grab his 2 accessories, we have the top hat and the bow tie. We could go like so, and there he is. Now, I'm actually going to move him because you can't quite see him. So we'll go like so, and look at him! Look at him! This little adorable dapper gentleman. Yes, ha! The best servant a man could ask for. There we are. So, we now have our wood golem worker. The last thing, of course, is to do this with the iron golem guardian. So, we'll place them like so, and then we can give them fezzes, which look quite quaint as well. They're a little, I don't know, they look a little silly, but that's fine. We can also give them visors, which look pretty intense, and then with the iron plating as well. And now we've got our own little tiny versions of RoboCop that we can set to work. So we'll snag these both, and there we are. We now have both of them set up. So the last thing, of course, is the materials we need for the rest of the farm, which is actually just these 2 items. And there we are. So 5 items is all it takes to build this XP farm. Amazing work. Well, I mean, you also need the soul cage, but that was already set up. So we'll head here. And then if I come out here, you can see I've had to replace this with buttons because the wood golems, I don't want them to getting out. So I have to replace the lever so that this door doesn't remain open. And I've also hollowed this out, and I shut off the soul shards. So I can show you how I did that. That's just through the portal there. But before anything else, we need to set up how we're actually going to collect the items and the experience. So first of all, we're going to dig out a little bit right here. Now I accidentally dug one of the walls there, but that's fine. So we'll dig out this little section here. And then what we need to do is we'll place down a diamond chest like so. Then if we place the wood golem worker like so, he will start to collect any items we toss and put them in the chest. Why is the golem guardian down there? I've had some issues with items sort of moving without me choosing them to. But he'll run around and, oh, there he goes. Okay. Now, the next thing, of course, is the brain in a jar. So these will collect the experience. Now, I got 2 of them because I expect this farm to be very high production. And because of that, I expect that they will fill relatively quickly. And the last thing, of course, is to actually place the golems in. But my plan is to trap them in here so that they don't run around at all. So what we'll do is we'll place glass like this, and then we can open that up quickly. And then we'll drop in our 2 peeps, and there we are. So this is the entire farm. This is all I need. So what I'll do is I'll just come out here. This guy slapping around is driving me nuts, and then I'll hop. Hey, that portal's really bugged out. Okay, but all we'll do is we'll just go like so. Those demons will start spawning, and then I'll try and get through my portal, and it won't work, of course, because I don't know. But we could drop down there, and there we are. Okay, so that was a little bit buggy, whatever. But now this is working as it should, so let's just come in here and we can watch it. And look! Oh, it's amazing! This is literally the best thing ever. I'm literally just gonna sit here and watch this in between episodes. Because what this means for me is that I can make pretty much any tool I want. Like, I have all those copies of like the Sword of Zephyr and the Axe of the Stream, so I can enchant those all that I like. I could make any number of wands that I want, and finally get the charging enchantment to make the most powerful casting wand ever made. An infinite power will be within my grasp! But yeah, you know, that's all for next time around. So I'm gonna leave it here and let these things run. This has probably been a shorter episode than most, just because it was a lot of me crafting that you didn't need to see. But I'm quite happy with the results. So if you liked it, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. I'm done here.